Hello, this is Meme Analysis, and today I'm going to be doing a bit of a continuation on the other week's video, which dealt with Jung's ideas on the flow of libido and the flow of psychic energy into different symbolic vessels, and that's relation to memes. This is actually going to be the first time that I go really in-depth on one of my favorite thinkers who has absolutely influenced the videos that I've done, but I really haven't talked about him other than in a few of the live videos, interviews, and in the Shrek video. But today we're going to be taking a really good look at Wilhelm Reich, his ideas on energy, and their relation specifically to our triad of memes, of relatable, surreal, and ironic. So, stick around. From the essay Orgonomic Functionalism. The primitive concept of emotional life was not mystical, as is the present-day concept, neither spiritualistic nor metaphysical, but animistic. Nature was conceived as animated, but this animation was modeled after one's own objective experiences of sensation. The spirits had earthly form. The sun and the stars behaved like actual, living human beings. The souls of the deceased lived on in real animals. The primitive animistic mind did not change the world inside or outside of itself. The sole thing which it did, in contrast to the natural scientific world picture, was that it ascribed objective functions to objective objects, where they did not belong. It preferred its own reality to a foreign one. In short, it projected. The primitive mind thought very close to reality when it equated the fruitfulness of the earth with the fruitfulness of the female body, or when it thought of the cloud which gave rain as a perceiving creature. It animated nature according to its own sensations and functions. It animated it, but it did not mystify it, as its great-great-grandchild did centuries later. In the strict sense of the term, mysticism signifies here the changing of a sense impressions and organ sensations into supernatural and unreal entities. Anthropology teaches us that the devil with tail and pitchfork, or the angel with wings, is a late product of human fantasy, and no longer imitates reality, but is created from an imagination which distorts reality. Devil and angel correspond to human structural sensations which already deviate basically from those of the animals or primitive men. The distinction between animism and mysticism lies in the fact that the first projects natural, undistorted sensations. The second, on the other hand, unnatural, perverted organ sensations. Accordingly, mysticism rests on a blocking of direct organ sensations and on the re-emergence of these sensations in the pathological perception of supernatural powers. So, from that reading, we can begin to understand how it is that libido moves and how the sensory perceptions create a symbolic vessel. We start out with the kind of very clear and direct, relatable vessel, which is the relatable meme, which is animals and day-to-day things. The symbolic vessel being these kind of mundane things that are easy for anybody to understand. And then as it becomes surreal and as it becomes ironic, it is a matter of the distortion of those initial perceptions, which in his case, he's talking about mysticism as a kind of distorting factor. And I think that that kind of mystical interpretation lends itself very well to the kind of hypnotic trance of the internet, where the sensory perceptions are already being literally distorted by a screen, and even more so by the subject matter that's on the screen. It is layers of kind of distortion, many, many layers of refraction and distortion piling atop themselves. Now, when this is applied in the kind of immediacy of the surreal meme, it's kind of immediately very strange. But when we take surreal meme, atop surreal meme, atop surreal, atop relatable, that is when you come into the kind of ironic meme, which is folded in so much on itself. And as for Reich's third view, which we didn't get much into, which is mechanism, which is essentially the scientific or analytic viewpoint, which in a way is the religion of modern times. We find it incapable of any in-depth, energetic understanding, which is why it's very difficult for, say, somebody who believes in pure rational science to analyze memes, because memes are something that's entirely irrational and almost impossible to grasp when you think purely rationally. It's the importance of Freud's metapsychology. You need to be able to really play and get dirty with these bizarre and surreal concepts and ideas. So, hopefully that has shown you the real power and function of the human libido as a sensitive force, and how it relates to Jung's creation of symbolic vessels. The symbolic vessels are kind of given their laws and methodology here in this text. So, if you want a good way to understand memes, I highly suggest reading Jung, and especially reading Reich and taking him seriously, because he is greatly disregarded and I care a lot for him. So, if you've liked my meme videos, you know what we always say. Remember, memes matter. Where are you at?
I think floating right there is a turtle.
Oh wow, cool.